Hey, Verl Workman here. It's Big V. Today we're talking teams. You've asked the question, and I know I've asked the question before, how much does a real estate agent make when they sell a house? I'm going to share with you not only how much they make, but also how a real estate agent can truly show real value. And right here at the end of the video, if you stay tuned to the very end, I'm going to give you the top 10 things that you need that you can download to ask any agent before you hire them to represent you. So I want to talk about the difference between money and value. You see, in the absence of value, money is always the objection. So when you're trying to determine how much to pay your agent, well, the answer is it really depends on the value that they provide you. If a real estate agent's all they're going to do is set you up on some kind of an auto hot sheet and send you properties automated, but they don't really do any effort to try and find you the home that you need, then they're probably not worth the money that they're charging. A real estate agent who is good at negotiation, that understands how to find properties that are both on the market and off market, that really deeply take the time to understand who you are and what your family's needs are, they're worth every penny that they charge. So I want you to think about the last time you went clothes shopping. If you just walked in and you did everything yourself and then you went to pay, you would feel like, was it fair for the person that didn't really help you to get a commission? The same is true in real estate. If you're doing all your own searching, you're looking at all the neighborhoods, you're doing the research on all the schools, you're finding out all the information, and then the realtor opens a couple doors for you and lets you in, you wonder at the closing, why did they make the money they're making? So I want you to think about what value the agent is going to give you. How an agent gets paid in real estate is directly dependent on a few factors. The agent might get paid a commission by the seller. They might get paid a commission by the buyer. They might get paid a commission ultimately through whoever is putting it on their side of the transaction ledger. And I want you to think about that just for a minute. With the recent class action lawsuits in real estate, there's been a lot of confusion on who gets paid, mostly because of the non-disclosure of the agents in the process. It's possible as a buyer that when you hire an agent that the cost of the home is increased by the amount that that agent charges you to represent them. And it's okay, as long as you understand that going into the process. Most of the homes in the MLS were paid. They paid both a listing agent to list it and a buyer's agent to help them find the home. And it was then disclosed on the title report so you could see who's paying for what. Now, as you go into a home and you think about deciding to hire a buyer's agent, you can think about whether or not they're really providing you value and negotiate to your family's best interest based on the value they provide, knowing that it's going to cost you, whether you pay it out of cash, whether it gets included in the mortgage, or whether it gets offered by the seller's agent. And the seller, that commission is ultimately being paid in the price of the home. And so just understand where the money comes from. Being in real estate is simple, but it's not easy. A real estate agent has three jobs. Number one is they prospect. That involves looking for potential buyers and finding people who want to buy and sell houses and building great relationships with them, following up with them, providing value during this lead generation, lead conversion process. Then when the client says, I want to buy a home, a great buyer's agent will sit down with you. They'll do a buyer presentation and they'll show you the value that they provide and what they charge in commissions in advance. So you should have no misunderstandings. There should be no confusion about how much your agent's going to charge or whether or not their value's there based on that presentation. And then the third thing is it's their job to help you find the home and then negotiate on your behalf. As a buyer's agent, when you're paying the buyer's agent, whether it's coming from the list side or whether it's coming out of your pocket or whether it's being put into mortgage, they're getting paid to represent your best interest. Now, a great agent isn't out there looking for a win-win. What they're looking for is, how do I put my client, the buyer, in the best position to do the right thing for their family? How do I help them be the most informed in the transaction? How do I give them all the data they need so that when they go in to negotiate, they negotiate from a position of strength? That's what a great buyer's agent does. They don't think about, okay, I want to make sure everybody's kumbaya and love in the end. You can have great transactions and still represent your client. And an agent on the other side representing the seller should be doing the same thing for the seller's benefit. So let me give you, and I told you I'd give this to you, and I'm going to give it to you to download at the end of the video as well, where you can download this checklist. I'm going to give you the 10 things that you should ask your buyer's agent to really understand and establish their value. Number one, ask them how long they've been in real estate. Experience matters. It can often translate into valuable insights. An agent who is a buyer specialist that specializes in buyers, that does it 48 to 60 times a year, is just better than someone who does it 7 times a year. They might be in business for 10 years, but they've only done 10 transactions. I would rather do business with someone who does lots of deals, that knows the market, that knows what it takes to get a deal done, than someone with lots of years of business with few transactions. The next thing I want to know is, do they specialize in working with buyers? What is their true true specialty. A buyer specialist understands neighborhoods. They've been inside the homes. They've seen all kinds of things, and they know what houses are selling for. Number 4 is, can they provide references from their past clients who've been happy with the not only services the agent provide, but also the price that they charge for those services. Number 5 is, how will they look for houses? The question I want to know is, what are you going to do besides just going on the MLS to identify properties that fit my family's needs? Are they knocking doors, looking at FSBOs and expireds? Are they looking for off-market properties? There's so many things. Are they looking at builder new construction? There are so many ways to find homes that might fit my client's needs. I want to know what that agent is going to do. Number 6 is, how many clients are you currently working with? A good agent has the ability to manage their time effectively to work with multiple clients, but if they're overwhelmed and they don't have time to get me out and show a property, do they work as an individual or do they work on a team so that when the right house comes on the market, I have access to get in that property before multiple offers happen? Which brings me up to number 7, and that's, how do you deal with or handle multiple offer situations? In a competitive market, in a seller's market, it's critical to have an agent who knows how to navigate these bidding wars and figure out how to put their client in the best position to win in a negotiation. And it's not only an art, but it's a science behind it. And number 8 is, what's your availability? And that is that you want an agent who will accommodate your schedule for showing and meetings. If you're only able to look at houses after work or in the evenings or on weekends, then you need an agent who has those things available to you. Now, not every agent is going to be available 24/7. Matter of fact, I don't even want an agent who's available 24/7. I want an agent who's available when I'm available and that they block time for their family as well, because an agent that has good life balance is going to be more well-rounded in doing the right things for my family because they understand the importance of the family time. Number 9 is how they handle negotiations, and that's really a key part of the process. You want an agent who is certified in negotiation, that can show examples of negotiation, teaches you how they handle negotiation. And then number 10 is, this is the big one, what are the fees that I can expect to pay? And it's understanding not just the commission, but all of the costs up front, so that as a buyer, when I sit down at the closing table and look at the settlement statement, there are no surprises. When you understand all of those things, it's because you have a great buyer's agent who's willing to take the time with you in advance to break down what it means to work with a buyer's agent. If you're not working with a buyer's agent, you're literally working with a seller's agent whose job is to represent the seller. And I can't think of a scenario where it's in the best interest of the buyer to work with an agent who doesn't have a responsibility to the buyer or seller, that becomes neutral facilitator. So those are the 10 things I'm going to give you at the end. A listing agent, just as a point, has a different goal. Their goal is they do a market analysis to establish the value of the property. They market the property to attract not just buyer's agents, but also buyers. They focus on negotiation on behalf of the seller to put the seller in a position to be the most informed in the transaction. And then when it goes under contract, both agents will work on transaction management. That goes from contract to close to make sure all the inspections, appraisals, and things that need to happen to put each of their parties in a position to be able to close effectively. And then, of course, they have effective communication. Hey, are you open for a bonus? Let me give you a little bonus. I'm going to give you the top 10 things to ask your listing agent. How many years of experience do they have? What's their track record with working with listings in your area? Do they know how to sell houses in your price point? What's the marketing strategy for the specific property? Are we doing virtual photography? Are we doing drone photography? Do we have floor plans laid out? Do we give the potential buyers the ability to have emotional ownership and move in before they've ever actually come through the front door? And how will you price my home? Pricing is critical, and there's a pricing strategy that matters when you're in a buyer's market, a seller's market, or a balanced market. They provide references from past clients. How will they communicate with me, and how often will I hear feedback from showings and open houses and more? What's their negotiation strategy? How do we lay it out when there's multiple offers coming in? And then, of course, like with any agent, you want to know, what are the fees up front that I can expect to pay? And what happens if my home doesn't sell in the expected amount of time? What are the things we're going to do to make course corrections in the process? While an individual agent can do it all, it's not very common that an individual agent that works both buyers and sellers becomes a true expert at both. So I'm going to encourage you to find a team leader who focuses on listings to list your home. Find somebody who works with buyers and they do it better than anybody else because that's their true specialty. If you're looking to do commercial, find a commercial expert. A generalist, it takes a long time to be great at anything when you do just a little bit of everything, but when you focus on one thing, the agents become better. This way, everybody can work with the kind of agent that they want. There's so many things we've talked about in this. Bottom line is, I'm going to give you the top 10 things to ask your buyer's agent to represent you. Just click on the download right here at the bottom. And I'm going to give you the top 10 things to ask your listing agent so that you can be in a best position to win as both a buyer and a seller.